mothers with the child assault lies. Karma's coming, no more alibis. She is burning it down. She is burning it down. Burning that channel to the ground. Fake queen falling, hear the sound. She is burning it down. Right to the burn it down. Right to the she's playing dirty, but the end is near. Gonna lose it all, drowning her own fear. F-A-F-O, fuck around and find out. F-A-F-O, channel crashing, lights out. She is burning, burning. She is done, burning. She is done, burning it down. She is burning it down. She is burning it down, burning it. Filing fake restraining orders, Craig chasing subs away. Mods in chains, signing NDAs today. Banned for a week, no live streaming hell. Now she's been evading, ringing that band bell. Queen bee stinging in clues, got the proof. BJ's empire's hanging by a noose. Hurts the mothers with the child assault lies. Karma's coming, no more alibis. She is burning it down. She is burning it down. Burning that channel to the ground. Fake queen falling, hear the sound. She is burning it down. Right to the burn it down. Right to the she's playing dirty, but the end is near. Gonna lose it all, drowning her own fear. F-A-F-O, fuck around and find out. F-A-F-O,
Okay, can you hear me now? Hello. Put a 1 if you hear me, because you remember how the other day I told you when I plug my headphones in, it takes my microphone away? Okay, so now you hear me. Okay, hold on. Hey, Ash Cash, good to see you. Just 1 minute. Okay, so that my headphones are plugged in and should be able. Okay, do you hear me now? No? That is crazy because it was working fine the other day. There's an echo, Kathy? There shouldn't be an echo. This is so weird why it won't let me use my headphones. But I guess Lily, do I have an echo right now? Or you can hear me? Okay, good. All right. Literally all I did was unplug it and plug it back in. It's there. I don't know, it's something strange. Okay, but I am in the process of asking Santa Claus to get me set up with a little bit better setup with my computer, so hopefully it will be fine. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate them for. Okay, so we're going to do something, a little bit different. We're going to kind of go back in time. Well, it's current information, but when I say we're going to go back in time, we're going to go back in time to pick up on some just abominable behavior by, yes, Brittany J. That's right. And because things have gone off the rails on Brittany J's channel or Craig's channel or whoever's channel it is, I have to put up the Grim Reaper. And I apologize. I have to put up the Grim Reaper and give you a trigger warning. Okay, so if you have epilepsy, close your eyes, please. Okay, for only a second. Trigger warning. You know that these two adults, Craigie and BEEJ, they have lost the ability to have a conversation without sounding like drunk sailors. The ability to use the English language has left the building like Elvis. Okay. They can no longer speak with normal words. It's MF in this and MF in that and GD this and GD that. You know what I'm talking about. What did Nietzsche say? You stare into the abyss too long, and what happens? So they are filthy, foul mouth in a way. Honestly, you can't even you just can't even deal with it. It's just awful. So let's do a visual cleanse. Let's look at something nice and appealing and attractive. There's going to be a lot of cussing, not on my part. So I want you to know that before we get started here, okay? We're going to listen to a creator that I have come to really, 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 really admire and like. And I don't think that I don't think she okay, so she doesn't buy into all the drama, right? She doesn't go off the rails and carry on. Sometimes I get mad and scream and yell or whatever. She doesn't really do the hey, thank you, Ash Cash. It's good to see you. She doesn't do the drama crama stuff, okay? She's actually a very, very, very intelligent person who's had some very impressive jobs. Her work has been featured in big documentaries on Netflix. She is so worth listening to. Of all the people that are not worth listening to on this platform, not Breaking Chains TC. Okay? Breaking Chains, T like Tom, C like cat. She is worth listening to. She has a message. She has something to say, and she says it in a quite eloquent way. Okay? So I would really like it if the mods could put her link. I actually, I had the link. Yeah, here we go. I believe that's the link. I hope I'm right. I think that's the link. Let me check. I hate to just put up a random link and that it isn't the right one, but I think it is. Let me check. Yes. Okay, good. So I put the link. If you could just share it occasionally, that'd be awesome. Okay. So her name is Lynn, and I've watched her for many years, and she's great. Okay, so let me just say that. Now, it is impossible to have a discussion about Craigie and BEEJ without a trigger warning and without cuss words. You cannot review their stuff anymore without telling your listeners it's going to get rough. It's going to get rough as you can imagine. Do you guys remember the night that he says, and I quote, "I have 8 inches to breed you with"? And we think, we're not quite sure, we think that he was talking to the cat as BEEJ is snoring into the microphone. Oh yeah, Maria, it was horrific. It was awful. I can't tell you. And this is the biggest problem, Cinnamon. Yeah, Cinnamon's got it. The biggest problem is they have a bunch of kids running around that stay awake all night long. So let me set the stage for you. And I'm not using hyperbole. I'm not trying to make it sound bad. I'm not trying to take something that's kind of average and build it up into something, dramatic. It doesn't get worse than this. Look, the only way that it could get worse is if there were crack pipes laying around. Okay, that's really about the only way it could get worse. Everything that you could imagine that would be awful for for a child's environment, it is happening even probably tonight as I speak. I mean, probably realistically, if we were to check in on that channel it's 5:45, in about 2 hours, things would be off the rails again. Okay, it's every night now. It's sewage. All right. The problem is there's little kids there. That's the problem. And they're both really, something really bad is happening because Craigie, he is a very thirsty dude. All right. He's incredibly thirsty, not only for female attention, or I guess he would take male attention too, but he's very thirsty for people to notice him and talk about how great he is. And he's also very, very thirsty for, alcohol. It's his albatross around his neck, if you will. And some of the rumors have said that he doesn't leave the house. Now, I have zero way of knowing if that's true. I'm also not making up a lie. These are things that friends, like people that have been friends with Brittany for many years that know her in real life, right? They claim that he might be like agoraphobic, maybe, that he doesn't leave the house. Maybe that's why he doesn't work, or I don't know what he does for a living. I think he does like house maintenance. Maybe he's got some rental houses or something. Anyway, they claim one way or the other that he can't leave the house, he can't drive. And so Brittany has to drive and go get whatever he needs, which would include alcohol, which I find curious, right? Why would you willingly go buy alcohol for a man that you know or you believe has a serious alcohol problem? You have kids in your house. Your first responsibility is their safety. I mean, legally, you have the burden of creating a safe environment. You don't have to have a perfectly well manicured environment. You don't have to put out, beautiful decorations, and lovely sofa with the finest, textiles. You don't have to do all that stuff. You don't have to have a, 120-inch television for them, but there are basic minimum standards for safety, like making sure your guns are secured, which we know beyond a shadow of a doubt they are not. And I'm sorry, BJ, but you are lying, because we saw the video live when it happened. Nobody went back, Brittany, and modified what Craig was doing as you were sleeping about 2 feet behind him or beside him, as far as we can tell. Nobody modified that. You lied to your subscribers and they just eat it up. They're great for you to lie to them and tell them what reality is. Where they really struggle is believing their own eyes and ears. And perhaps, Brittany, that is because you have done so much gaslighting to this group of people that they now are just closed to the idea that what they're seeing and what they're hearing is actually real. They just sit around and wait for you to interpret it, and you tell them what really happened. You tell them what they heard. I've really never seen anything quite like this. I mean, I know about folie à deux and shared delusions. Even shared psychosis is a real thing. But hundreds of people spread out across the globe hanging on your every word so that you can interpret reality for them. It is very strange. And yet, what is the explanation? The things you're going to hear tonight, you're going to be amazed by. For example, Craig says one day, you need to straighten up and you need to act like professional white people. I promise. Cinnamon hot. Am I telling a lie? He literally says something so bizarre and nonsensical as telling subscribers they need to act like, quotation marks, professional white people. What is that, Craig? What is that? What does that mean? Professional white people? What? How is Craig? When people say that you are low IQ, or they say that you're an idiot, or they say you're abusive, or or an alcoholic, or any of those terrible names and words, descriptions, the reason they're saying that is because you acted that way. They're saying that because they've listened to you and they've watched you, Craig. We listened with incredulity, as you said, to a cat or a kid or your girlfriend that you had 8 inches to breed him or her or it with. And then you clapped your hands. You say, "Get back here." It was so bizarre. What? Okay, 8 inches to breed a cat? No. 8 inches to breed a child? No. 8 inches to breed your girlfriend who's snoring and on the nod on the live stream. It's all being broadcast out to the world. I'm going to say no to that too. I don't even think you had any idea what I think you were like lost in a strange type of delusional moment. I think you were like in a fantasy moment. It was really odd. And although you said it and people heard it live when it happened, you and your girlfriend came back and said, "That's not what he said. That's not what he did. That's not true." Even though Brittany J, she woke up when he yelled, "Get back here." And he like clapped his hands real hard, like he was yelling at a child that was running out of the room, maybe. He yells, "Get back here." And then you hear this hit, this slap. I had a horrible vision of him slapping like a child on the back. It was that loud, sharp kind of slap. I have no idea what happened. I am just relaying what my ears heard live as it played out. And Brittany woke up when the loud slap or the yell happened. And her exact words, when she wakes up, her exact words are, "Oh, no, he didn't." I mean, it was revulsion. It was anger. It was fear. Like it was a really, look, there were a lot of us that were traumatized by it. It was awful. So look, I agree with Queen Bee. We don't know what happens in other people's homes unless we're there, right? Unless there's a camera or a recording device that you can watch a little limited frame, or you can hear what's happening in the room. And so, Brittany, I think this needs to be said, okay? You've now entered victim mode. You're the world's greatest victim, aren't you? You go now on your channel and you talk about how everyone else can be racist except you. That everybody else, quotation marks, gets to be racist and no one calls them out. But if you or Craig says something racist, then y'all get in deep trouble. Or everyone else gets to be disgusting and gross, and I guess talk about the size of their unit. And no one cares if everybody else talks in this obscene, gross, disgusting manner. But if you and your beloved talk that way, then we unfairly target you, and then there's hell to pay. You literally are in this place where you have no idea what the reality is of your own life. Because there is no other explanation that we are seeing these things like Craig at the camera. You're asleep and snoring behind him. We assume it's behind him because he keeps looking back over his shoulder and then putting his finger up to his lips like, "Shh, don't wake her up. Our fun will be over if you wake Brittany up." And then you rouse and you go, "Oh, no, I'm not sleeping. Stop saying I'm sleeping. That's so unfair. You're so mean to me. Other people can get on their lives and they can sleep and they can snore and nobody cares. But when I sleep on my live, then y'all all care and say I'm on drugs." Okay, Brittany, I'll bite. Who else is falling asleep at the microphone? Who is it? Oh, I think you're 100% right, Justice Jane. And here's the thing, Jane. What's the best indicator of future behavior? Past performance, right? So Justice Jane and me and many others, we're not being mean, Brittany. We're worried to death. We're scared for you. We're terrified or I'm terrified for your kids. I think when you see the police report for what you and your children lived through previously with Craig was the aggressor. When you read that and you see that is actual, that was real, that was not trolls, that wasn't the dark side, that wasn't haters that were coming for you. It was none of those things. It was the man that you live with. And that's just the truth. And you saying, oh, well, you should never have had access to the police report. It's the law. It is the law. You have done background checks on people. You have had your flying monkeys make FOIA requests. You've done it to other people. You just didn't like it very much when it was done to you. And I personally didn't like it either. But it made me afraid for you, and it made me see what was happening on the camera and through the microphone. It made me see that, yeah, things were actually quite dangerous. Your complaint that people shouldn't have been allowed to read the police report, that it was only done out of hate for you. Have you stopped for a minute to consider that it was done out of care? That all of these women that were your friends in real life and virtual, that these women that left the channel, that they walked out and they said, I can't do this anymore. Maybe those people are exactly like me and Justice Jane. We just couldn't listen to it anymore because it was too scary. It's frightening. Really frightening. And there's a lot of things I think that people have said they're afraid of. People are very afraid of him. He's not rational. Based on what we've seen through your camera and what we've heard through your microphone night after night after night for years, Brittany, you are not being targeted. People are scared for you. Another thing that I've heard people say that they're very afraid of, they're very afraid for your health, for your physical health. What you're calling asthma, you never use a puffer. You never medicate what is actually easily managed symptoms. Asthma medication works really well, but you don't use it, do you? And don't come back now and say, oh, excuse me, I need to have a hit on my puffer. Stop that. People know you now. They know how you're managing this. And people are really scared when they listen to you and you can let your lungs sound like a death rattle. When you fall asleep, I know you're saying you're not sleeping, okay, but most people can hear it, right? And the terrifying thing is that just the other night, when you fall asleep, we can literally hear the fluid in your lungs through a microphone. And I've seen so many people that have said, is there anyone there that cares? Like, is there a friend? Is there a sibling? Is there a next door neighbor? Is the pharmacist, the doctor? Does anybody care that you're a very young person and you sound like you have pneumonia all the time? Is there anyone there to say, I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you, and I want to do whatever it is that you need for me to do to help you. There must be someone. I think your doctor, I think your pharmacist, I think there are nurses. I think I have put up the contact information for Rain, and I'm happy to put it up again now. I don't know. Okay. So there is the information again. It's very simple to just 800-656-HOPE. And there are people there at that phone 24 hours a day, and you tell them what is happening and what you need, and they will hook you up with the proper resources for your neighborhood, your community. But people are very afraid. I've seen people that they themselves have asthma, and they take their medication properly, and it helps them with their symptoms, and yet to hear the quality of breathing, it will cause them to have paradoxical symptoms. So just listening to you and the amount of fluid that is in your lungs will cause them to start having an asthma attack. And they'll grab their puffer and get it under control, do their relaxation, get it all under control. You're not doing any of it. You're definitely not using a puffer. I mean, lots of us have listened to see, is there any indication that she's medicating when you hear all that? No. The only thing we're hearing is you going right off to sleep mid-sentence. The other night, the third or the fourth, you were not even able to move enough air for your words to come out properly. So the fear, people are terrified for your children for obvious reasons. If you have one person, one of the adults, who can't breathe, they're gurgling like it's a death rattle, and they are just falling asleep mid-sentence, like they're on some kind of big time opiate. And the other one is babbling incoherently right next to the one that's passed out. And he's talking about taking his 8 inches and breeding a cat. There's children's voices in the background. You can hear laughter, or you can hear crying, or you can hear whining. Mom, I want some cereal. I mean, I don't know how else to present it, that people are not angry. People are terrified of so many things. They're terrified for the children. They're terrified for the poor cats. They're terrified for you physically with an abusive, violent person. They're terrified for your physical health, the fluid in your lungs. They're terrified if maybe you're not going to be able to start breathing again when you stop. It is not anger. It's not people being on the dark side, like you demonize those people that are actually willing to say, this might be a dangerous situation. You are surrounding yourself with people like Reality and others who to be fair, she sounds like she is incapacitated as well. People in my channel, I know that we're really not watching anymore, right? Most of us have just said it's too painful to listen. It's too sad. I don't want to even know about it anymore. And most of us have sort of dipped out now, and we're, it's just awful. The whole thing is awful. But in truth, did you leave because it was so bad? Is that why? I'll tell you the thing that finally did it for me. The thing that finally did it for me is all of the lying about how Cluminati's a liar. She's not telling the truth. She never said anything about Clu's daughter or the situation with the pedophile, that she never did any of that. People are lying about her. People are making up lies about her. And then I heard the actual clip. I heard the actual recording. She was on panel. She did say those things. She did absolutely take the worst kind of trauma happening to a little child, a little small child. She literally dug up that information and weaponized it to try and hurt the mother of that child and the father, Cletus. She did do that. It is real. And of course, she's still angry and yelling, "Oh, I never said it. You're lying about me. I'm going to sue you for slander," yada, yada. It's out there. You can go to Rumble. You can listen to the panel. She did do it. And so when you listen to Reality, who's up there saying, "Y'all, leave her alone. She's not sleeping." And in the background, as she's screaming at the subscribers saying, "Brittany is not sleeping," what's going on? She's not sleeping, y'all. Okay, then what is it, Reality? Like, it sounds like the death rattle. If you believe she's not sleeping, then what exactly is she doing? Oh, her nose is whistling? Then why does it stop whistling when she rouses? Why is that? So I'm curious. Those of you that have heard Reality on the panel with Brittany, let's say in the past 3 months, okay? Has it occurred to you that Reality is also incoherent and out of touch? I think sometimes she is not all there too. Yeah, not sleeping, not over medicated. Okay, what is it then? Because it's kind of ironic that her name is Reality when Reality is flat out being completely denied. And it doesn't matter to the people that are still going in there and giving her $8,000 so that she can drag other people through the court. Those people obviously can't believe what they see. They can't believe their own ears. They just observe and listen, and then they wait for Brittany to tell them what they saw and what they heard. People, snap out of it, okay? Why in the world would you let Brittany tell you what you're seeing and hearing? You have ears, use them. All right, I agree with you. That's not a true friend. It doesn't help Brittany at all. It doesn't. And teachers, school personnel, they are very familiar with the lessons where where you talk to the students and you try to help them understand that if your friend is in trouble, if your friend is engaging in dangerous behavior, smoking pot, skipping school, having sex when you're, 14 years old, that it's not being a good friend to keep their secret for them, that you're enabling them in a way that may harm them, that they're doing dangerous things, they're engaging in dangerous behaviors, and wouldn't a good friend want to help them, protect them, even if protecting them was from themselves, right? So there's a lot of teachers here. There's a lot of mental health experts. We know that. We know that message. If your friend starts doing dangerous things, a good friend will get help. They will talk. They won't keep your secret. Oh, I know the whole thing. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's all fine and dandy for adults, and I'm okay with that. But sincerely, just the lung problem needs to be managed. It needs to be medically managed. There is literally not ever been any indication that she's using a puffer. Never. With that type of fluid in your lungs, Brittany, you should be doing breathing treatments every 4 hours. You should be coughing. Like the question is, why is it that your cough reflex isn't working? I promise you, if my husband ends up with pneumonia and his lungs are filled with fluid, you want to know something? He is going to be, it's going to be constant until he gets some of that fluid out of there. Am I right or wrong? Put a 1 if you think that's true. Put a 2 if you think that you can have pneumonia and not need to clear your lungs of fluid. It's not realistic that you have that much fluid in your lungs and you're not coughing up a gut. It's just not real. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't know, some know this, but a lot of people don't know, is that in the old days, it was actually really, really common for codeine, for cough syrup, to have opiates added to it. Hydrocodone, it was common. If you went to the doctor and you were really sick with pneumonia or bad bronchitis or something like that, the doctor would give you cough medication that was a controlled substance that would have these high-powered opiates in them. Why? Oh, because it is a cough suppressant. Because it makes that part of your brain that says, oh gosh, we have something in our lungs, we need to cough. It makes that part of your brain numb, so you don't cough. And what happens if you're not coughing and you've got fluid that is building up in your lungs? You just get worse and worse and worse. All right. So there is known empirically validated connections between opiate use worsening asthma or causing asthma. We know it's real. And there's multiple mechanisms of action for how it happens. How is it that if you have asthma, that you should not be taking opiates? Because it can dramatically worsen even people that have asthma and they take opiates, they are at an increased risk of death. Did y'all know that? Did you know there was a connection between opiate use and asthma? If you knew that, put a 1. If you had no idea about it, put a 2. Oh, wait a second. Let's see what y'all think. Yeah, and if you're put in the hospital even today with pneumonia, they will give you an opiate to control the coughing. Okay, so Sharon is a healthcare provider. She's seen it firsthand. She knows. Okay, so this is real. I'm not making this up. Okay, it's a real phenomenon. That there are multiple avenues of action that cause opiates to be deadly, specifically for asthmatics. Probably the most well-known or the most direct is respiratory depression, right? Everybody already knows this. Heroin, morphine, methadone. Yeah, methadone. It will act on the mu opiate receptors in the brainstem, and that will suppress the drive to breathe. And if your drive to breathe is suppressed, then you have reduced respiratory rate. You're not only are you breathing very, very shallow, you're not bringing air all the way into the deepest parts of your lungs. Not only does it stop that, but it also slows the like between breaths. It's much, much slower. And so the respiratory rate is slowed, and then what they call tidal volume, the actual amount of air that is getting exchanged in the lungs. It's incredibly dangerous because asthmatics already are living with narrowed airways. Already, their gas exchange is really, really limited. When they use their puffer, they have some other medications too, but when they use their puffer, the effects are almost immediate. And what they do basically is to reduce the inflammation, and that opens up the airways. Then you can start breathing again, right? Another mechanism, avenue of mechanism for effect is the histamine release. That morphine, meperidine, codeine, heroin, all of those, they trigger what is called a non-immunologic mast cell degranulation and histamine release. In essence, opiates will cause a massive allergic reaction, right? So histamines are released. If you take opiate, you then have more histamine. And it is a potent bronchoconstrictor. In other words, it takes asthma and puts it on, makes it 10 times worse. Histamine is a bronchoconstrictor, and it will trigger an acute asthma attack. It'll hit you out of nowhere. Fentanyl, in a very paradoxical way, for as deadly as fentanyl actually is by suppressing breathing, one of the things, it doesn't do, for some reason, it doesn't cause the body to release so much histamine. So it's kind of strange, but all by itself, fentanyl is very dangerous. Stay away from it. Unless you're in an emergency room and a doctor is giving it to you. But these histamine releases are deadly to an asthmatic. Deadly. And you can have people that don't normally have asthmatic conditions that overdose on opiate, and then they go into a full-blown asthma attack. And then the third way that I already referenced earlier, with putting my poor husband as the example, that opiates are a central suppression of the cough reflex. we naturally cough as a safeguard. So if you get something in your airway, your body will cough. You can't even control it. You can't stop it from coughing. Okay. If something is in your airway, it triggers a cough that you are not in control of. And that is to push air out, and that will dislodge whatever is, obstructing your breathing. And that's why when you have pneumonia, you cough a lot, to the point that you can cough so hard and so long that you can pull loose the lining of your lungs. It's a really painful, condition. So chronic opioid use blunts the cough reflex and impairs like the ability to get the fluid, the mucus out of your lungs, out of your airway. And then that mucus begins to dry because it's old, and it creates a plug in your lungs, multiple plugs in your lungs. And then you sound like Britney. Okay, so these are 3 direct physiological effects of opiates that make it especially deadly for an asthmatic to use those types of drugs. There's also, of course, indirect effects, like just like if you're an addict, just the lifestyle of an addict. Most addicts smoke cigarettes and other things. So all by itself, smoke inhalation is a huge trigger for asthmatic symptoms, right? Also, the lifestyle of addiction will absolutely guarantee poor medication compliance to asthma medication. That's why after 6 months of trying to hear the sound of a puffer, I am of the opinion that she is not using asthma medication at all, even though she sits and yells at her subs and says, "I have asthma. That's why I sound like that, because I have asthma." Well, you only sound like that at the beginning of the month. Another byproduct or side effect or direct effect of the lifestyle of the addict is infections. Addicts have a lot of infections for some of the reasons I already talked about, but they get pneumonia all the time. They get exposed to bacteria of any manner. They're living in unclean environments. They don't notice how dirty their surroundings are. They absolutely develop endocarditis, I think it's a viral infection of the lining of the heart. Many of these addicts, they're HIV positive or hepatitis C. Like, there's a lot of things, right? It's not common for people to have staph infections. It's not common. And yet, that's another one of the common complaints that Brittany has. She's got this thing on her leg that won't heal. And then finally, again, everybody is terrified. But if you overdose or you have a near overdose and you have asthma, then you're looking at a hypoxic event. You're keeping oxygen from your brain. You get brain damage that then lasts. You don't just wake up, start breathing again, and then the oxygen deprived cells come back to life. That's not the way the brain cells work. So long-term lung injury from this pattern where she falls asleep, she's got all this fluid in her lungs, she's not moving very much air, she's not breathing very often. it has lasting effects. There'll be actual damage in the lungs, as well as, if you're hypoxic, your brain cells are dying. And of course, when you have injury to your lungs, then your airway is much more reactive. So it will close, it'll shut down faster, i.e., you'll go into a asthma attack faster, easier. So one thing that I did do before I started talking about this tonight is I went ahead and I pulled citations that will, show that what I'm saying is not because I'm a part of the dark side. I'm not trying to be a troll. I'm not making up lies. I'm not doing any of that. I wanted people to be able to read the articles and see for themselves that there is real danger for someone with asthma or an asthmatic condition. There's real danger for them in taking opiates, even just like your treatment dose, like a low dose opiate. Doctors are really scared. If somebody has asthma, they're really scared about giving opiates, even if you need them. So you have to be very careful with them. Very low dose, use other, things. They're using relaxation skills, certain breathing patterns, very important. Getting daily exercise, incredibly healthy. Eating, getting proper nutrition. Forcing yourself to cough is something that they do in physical therapy with people that have bad asthma. Teaching them to have an effective cough, how to tighten your diaphragm before you cough, so you get that deep cough that will move all that fluid out. Okay. So there are multiple case reports. There's many case studies of acute life-threatening asthmatic exacerbations after receiving intravenous morphine, heroin, even some of the maintenance medications. And when this happens, naloxone is not going to reverse it. The naloxone will reverse the drug, but it can't do anything about the asthmatic response that comes. So it's really, I'm trying to say, this is very dangerous. Emergency department studies have shown that asthmatic patients who use opiates have higher rates of intubation. Intubation killed a lot of people with COVID, y'all. If you were terrified of COVID, then you ought to be 3 times more afraid for Brittany. People that are asthmatic and they use opiates, they're prescribed opiates. It's being provided to them by their healthcare provider. I'm not talking about people that are homeless living on the street with a heroin needle in their arm. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that are prescribed that medication as a necessary part of their medical care. They have longer hospital stays. They have more hospital stays and they're longer. They have higher rates of intubation. So these are real. Do you know what most of these, the variables, the population, the sample that they used in the majority of these studies, they used methadone maintenance patients. They were not looking for people that were living an addict lifestyle, malnutrition, homeless, sharing dirty needles. That is not what they wanted. They wanted a clean project that they could see the true relationship between one variable to the other. And that was asthmatics, people with asthma, and opiates. Not opiate overdose, but like a a low level treatment dose of opiate. Is that what's causing the asthmatic condition to get exacerbated? Or is it taking too much opiate? Is it an overdose of opiate? And these studies where they used patients that were in a program and they were using their methadone properly, and the information was absolutely undeniable. More hospitalizations, longer stays in the hospital, and a higher rate of intubation. Now, for some weird reason, fentanyl and something that is called hydromorphone, it's a derivative of a breakdown of hydrocodone. They, for some reason, they don't release the histamines like methadone and morphine and heroin. So for people that have, true asthma, that the people are in the hospital with something else and they need that type of medication, the doctors will give them fentanyl instead of giving them like a low dose, like codeine or a low dose hydrocodone. They'll go with the big gun, fentanyl, because the histamine is not a problem. So addiction is a really complicated problem. Drug use is a really complicated. When you have somebody that has asthma and they need these medications, you really need a physician who is what they call an addiction specialist, because they understand the chemical reactions and interactions that these difficult medications can have physically, right? So this important. And I think if we don't deny what we're seeing and what we're hearing, then I think if you're a caring person, if you're an empathetic person, you want to help. Like, you want to try to get things calmed down and back to a point that at least the children are in a stable environment. I hope that's a good way to say it. All right. So again, one last thing, because you hear a lot of people say this, no, I feel better when I've got my opiates. I have less, symptoms, asthma symptoms. That is not actually true. They have the subjective feeling of being better, and that is because the opiate that they're taking, remember, is calming and quieting the cough reflex. But that is what makes it so deadly. You may think you're okay. You may think you feel better, but meanwhile, back at the ranch, your lungs are filling up with fluid and you're not coughing to clear it. All right. So the bottom line is chronic opioid use, opioid addiction, opioid treatment that is provided by a medical provider are generally believed to worsen or make more difficult your doctor's ability to control your asthma. And I've talked about all the reasons, why. And these drugs increase the risk of severe and fatal exacerbations of something as simple as asthma. Patients that have both conditions, they need aggressive asthma management. They have to try to find a non-opioid pain strategy. And that is one of the reasons why the relaxation skills, therapy, physical therapy, learning to cough effectively, that is why these other adjunctive type treatments are so valuable for the person that has asthma. That doctors are not denying that you're in pain. They're not denying that the pain medication would help you. They're trying to keep you alive. They're trying to treat you in a way that won't create an even worse problem, which is you drowning in your own lungs. Okay? All right. So, let me take a quick peek. Cinnamon says, I've seen situations from afar when a junkie will buy the old man's alcohol so he will not complain about the junkies using their drug of choice. No, Cinnamon, I think that's real. Yeah, I think that does happen. Isn't that why they call it codependency? Don't you complain and fuss at me and I'll leave you alone, right? And it's incredibly dangerous. AK says, can I ask you a question? Absolutely, ask away. Spike Mountain Dew, I was given morphine, but I am not addicted. I have cancer. Mountain Dew, I'm so sorry to hear about that. And really, you're in my prayers, and you're exactly right. For people that are, cancer can be very painful. It is, cells that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So they can create damage internally. And so morphine is a very common drug, and Demerol is also commonly given. So no, that has nothing to do with addiction, and you are in my prayers. I hope things are getting better for you. Let's see. Can I share what BJ is going through? Can I share what BJ is going through? I don't know. Let me scroll back up here. My mom broke her leg. They gave her morphine and she stopped breathing. Very scary stuff. There's a perfect example, Nana. Absolutely. Look, it's more than anecdotal. The number of people that are in the hospital and they're given pain killing drugs for some reason, especially the elderly, the asthmatics, people whose liver is not functioning well. You just take a normal therapeutic dose of opiate and then it stops your breathing. So it does happen, Nana, and I'm so sorry it happened to your mom. AK says, I took Suboxone for a couple of years, and I'll tell you what, the worst thing ever. I've heard that, AK, and the AMA has changed course with this. The conventional wisdom was that short-acting opiates were creating the addiction problem, right? Because people wanted to get high, but then they wouldn't stay high very long, and then they'd have to take another hit to get high again. So the short-acting opiates were believed to create the big addiction problem. So then they told all the pain management groups, okay, we want to use long-acting opiates to reduce addiction problems, right? And that's when they came out with Suboxone and methadone. The methadone is an opiate. It is a heroin drug, but it is a very long-acting one, and it stays in your system a long time. Half-life is a long time. It takes a long time for withdrawal to kick in. So like with let's say with Suboxone, maybe you take your last dose on Monday, but you won't get withdrawals until Friday or Saturday. I don't know what the actual time frame is, but it's dramatically longer. Okay. So you feel the first uncomfortable illness. With short acting, like oxycodone or codeine or something like that, with short acting opiates, you'll start having withdrawal symptoms within like I don't know, I guess depending on what you're taking, how long you've been taking it, some people, some doctors will say you can have them as early as 4 hours after your last dose. Others say it's more like 8 hours. I don't know, maybe 12 hours. But compare that. Imagine your last dose was on Monday at 1 o'clock, and Monday at 6 o'clock, you start having withdrawals. Well, in 3 days, the withdrawals are going to be over. They're going to be finished because it's all very fast acting compared to Suboxone or methadone, where you take your last dose on Monday, you don't even have the very first withdrawal symptom until like Friday. Well, that means 6 months later, you're still going through opiate withdrawals. So I believe you, AK, that the Suboxone withdrawal was far worse than the regular opiate that you were taking. And after about 10 years of this, the doctors all said, no. We were wrong about the long acting opiates. This is not the way to go. We need to turn course and go back to short acting opiate and add the adjunctive therapies. Like you need a psychologist. You need to go to physical therapy. There's a lot of things that there are other medications that help with whatever, whether it's bone or muscle or whatever it is. You're entitled to your opinion, Paige Turner. This isn't drama. It's educating us on things we may not understand. Is somebody mad? Paige says, not staying because I don't want to get banned. I used to learn a lot from her also. I guess you're talking about from me. Okay. Well, I am talking about things that need, Paige Turner, if you look in the description of this video, you're going to see a list of APA citations from peer-reviewed journals. You've got enough reading material that I've provided from an educational perspective that I think you could learn an awful lot. So I hope that you don't have to stay and listen, but you're welcome to read and educate yourself. So there you have it. All right. Yes, I do believe that. This is not real content. This is drama. No, you're actually wrong, Paige Turner. And let's be fair, Paige. You are not an avid listener. I haven't seen you in my channel since I said that I heard Brittany talk about Cluminati's daughter, what happened to her when she was a baby. I heard it and I was done with her because it was an awful thing to do to that young lady who, at the time that Brittany brought it out and talked about it on her panel, the girl was like a senior in high school. And she had you sickos talking about her trauma when she was like 6, 7, 8 years old. So Paige, you're the one that has the actual problem besides being a liar. And I'm going to help you out here. Okay. Bye. All right. So Paige, it will be gone from here forever. Let's see. Over the 10 years, I've not messed with any of that. Yeah, it's tough stuff. Drugs change your health. Absolutely. I will ask you a question another time. Mountain Dew, you're more than welcome to send me an email. Hey, Donna Burns, how are you doing? Mountain Dew, let me put my email in here. And that way you can ask whatever question you want if you don't want something, if you feel like it's a little too sensitive. He's getting Nona. All right. So there's my email address. So yeah, Paige is a liar. She's never in here. She's not telling the truth. In fact, for all I know, Paige Turner may be BJ. I don't know. She might be. I don't know. Okay. So if we can, all right, there we go. All right. So remember what I said earlier about Lynn, about her channel. She is another creator who's got something to say, and it's worth listening to. She is very intelligent, and she's empathetic, and she's no drama, no crama, and she's awesome. She's also the one that put together this compilation, and this is how I wanted to end this stream tonight. I wanted to play a little bit of what she put together here, and I hope that when we end, I hope you'll go on over there and listen to her whole video, because I think someone has got to get back to reality. I think the level of gaslighting that is going on over there is hurting a lot of people. I love Lynn too, Kelly. Absolutely. And I think there's a lot of people that have been hurt, not to mention Cluminati and Cletus spending $10,000 on attorneys because this bozo was able to get her subscribers to give her $8,000 to go after them. And all she did was send cease and desist that you don't have to have a lawyer to do. You can pull one up on the internet. So what'd she do with the $8,000? All right, people are getting hurt. All right, so let's play a little bit of this. And then I hope you guys will hit the link and go over there and finish Lynn's video. The name of her channel is Breaking Chains TC.
Probably pick it. They're going to freeze it. Oh, yeah.
And remember, trigger warning. Remember, this channel, allegedly with Brittany J, or allegedly, in my opinion, with Brittany J, has reached a point of degradation now that you can't even listen to one of their videos without giving a trigger warning, because it has gone so far off the rails.
They'll probably pick it. They're going to freeze it. Oh, yeah.
Stop being Jerry Springer and be a professional fucking white person, okay?
Craig didn't say professional white people. You dumb bitch. That's not what he said.
Golly, that did not age well at all, did it, BEEJ? He absolutely did say to act like a professional white person. And to be truthful, I don't have any idea what that means. But he said it. I think it's probably a racist type of a comment. But I still, even if you look at it like in a racial context, I still don't know what it would mean. Do you? It's just a bizarre. You know what it is? Okay, look, truth here. It's like when you see two kindergarten kids getting an argument together, and one of them says, "Shut up, stupid head." I'm not a stupid head. You're a poopy head. Well, you're a stupid poopy head. Okay, that's what I hear. When I hear act like a professional white person, I'm thinking, okay, what does that mean? That you're professionally white? So does that mean that you're like the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan and you got a salary? Like, what does that mean? You're a professional white person. What does that even mean? I don't understand it. But it sounds an awful lot like you're a poopy, stupid head, in my opinion. All right. Let's see what Mystic said. Hey, Mystic Firefly. I told BJ last night that she needs a she shed so she can do her job without having Craig in the background. Listen to her godly mouth, swear like a banshee. Look, they're both berserko gone. Like, they're not even making sense. it is dangerous, in my opinion, in that house after the sun goes down. And it may be dangerous before the sun goes down. I don't know, but something is really disturbing. And why did the subscribers give $8,000 to attack YouTube creators? Why would you guys do that? Like, sincerely, I would be willing to have a respectful, open conversation. What makes a person listen to this circus? You got to be a professional white person. That was said June of 2025, just months ago. You listen to this bozo talking about being a professional white person, and then you turn around and give $8,000 to these people? Why? Are you independently wealthy? Did you win the damn Powerball? This just beats anything I've ever seen. All right. I'm going to be quiet now.
He said they don't act like decent white people.
That's why all your fans are.
Not what he.
Listen again. Listen to this.
Stop being Jerry Springer and be a professional fucking white person, okay?
Craig didn't say professional white people.
Green team or gummy bear people, whatever y'all call yourselves. What are you not hearing? Like, I really, I need to understand what part of this you are not understanding.
They're going to freeze it.
They're gonna fliddle the bean.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna fliddle the bean. That shit. Stop being Jerry Springer and be a professional fucking white person, okay?
Craig didn't say professional white people.
Okay. Brittany J lies to you guys. She will lie. She knows that she's live on stream. She knows that people are recording it. She knows that there are receipts. She knows that there is truth. She knows it. And yet, she just lies to you. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't sleeping. And what's wrong with y'all? What are you having a hard time understanding? She is not telling you the truth. She is lying to you. And you are so hungry to believe her. It's like you need to feel sorry for her. And so you're willing to see her as a victim only. It looks like codependency. And it's terrifying because bad things happen in codependent relationships, including between subscribers and channel creators.
You dumb bitch. That's not what he said. He said they don't act.
Oh, and on top of her lying to you, she also called you a dumb bitch. That's the person you gave your $8,000 to.
Like decent white people.
That's why all your fans are hags. You ain't got.
Oh, and now the genius of YouTube has decided that other people's subscribers are, quotation marks, hags. What are hags exactly? Is that a term of endearment? Like, do you look at Brittany and say, oh, I love you. You're my sweet little hag. What does hag mean? My guess is that it is a really demeaning and misogynistic term for women, is my guess. Now, for a man, and I use that term lightly because you're the guy screaming out that you have 8 inches with which to breed a cat. You know what I mean? But let's go with it. In biological years, you're supposedly a grown man. You can't leave your house to go buy your own beer, but you think that you can call people hags? You got a really funny way of looking at the world, Craig. A really funny way.
No boys watch your ass. They all watching the girls on Twitch in the hot tub.
Uh-oh.
Watch your ass. All your
Uh-oh.
fans are.
This is Brittany's beloved. This is the man that she leans on to give her strength, to help her family, to be a father to her children. This is the guy that she has put her faith in, supposedly. Listen to what he literally says and then ask yourself, how old, like what age would someone talk like that? Are they the words of a 40, 45-year-old man? Or are they the words of a 10-year-old kid? Listen.
Hags. You ain't got no boys watching your ass.
You got hags. You ain't got no boys watching you. You ain't got no boys listening to you. Only what? Boys? You know what, Craig? I don't want any boys anywhere near you or Brittany or me or anybody else when we're on YouTube talking. This is not for child content. Now, I know your children listen to it every night, but most parents want to protect their kids. But the very fact that the way you look at the world, the way you see a situation, you believe that it's some kind of charming put down to say, ain't no boys wanting to look at you. Excuse me? No, it would be a felony, Craig.
They all watching the girls on Twitch in the hot tub.
None of the boys are watching your subscribers. Your subscribers are hags. All the boys are over there watching the girls in the hot tub on Twitch, like you, right? When your wife or girlfriend is on the nod behind you, you're rubbing your own muscles, slinging your tongue around in the camera and flirting with women. Well, Brittany's right there. She doesn't know what you're doing because she's fast asleep, right? Is that what you're referring to? Is that you, a boy, looking at young girls in hot tubs? And you literally, when you said that, you thought that it was actually a put down. And Paige Turner, she's just looking up to you. She's just speaking out to support you and Brittany because y'all are such great people. It's unbelievable.
Who did Craig call a hag?
Yeah.
Please don't take it that way. That's not what he means.
Okay, here's the part where she tells all of the gummy bear green team people what they're listening to. You didn't really hear Craig call you a hag. He didn't really mean that. What he really said was that he wanted to give you all hugs. No, Brittany, this is gaslighting. Paige Turner, this gaslighting. Paige, this is her lying to the people that gave her $8,000 so she could be a bully, so she could weaponize or try to weaponize the court system. She's a liar, Paige.
Craig needs to find another way to say things because it's not what he means.
Maybe he could learn to speak Mandarin Chinese so that when he says these horribly childish and offensive things, none of your subscribers will know what he's saying. Maybe you could try that. Look, I don't have any illusions that the man could learn Mandarin Chinese, but you get my point.
I used to look for girls like that.
Again, he's talking about girls. He's a grown-ass man, 45 years old, talking about boys and girls. Ain't no boys coming to your channel to look at you. Ain't no boys want to look at you. They want to look at the girls over in the hot tub. You're creepy, man. Yeah, it's creepy. The whole 8 inches, the kitten is creepy. this level of creepiness it is outrageous.
Easy to manipulate. You give them a little attention they want, say nice things to them, you get what you want, and you move on. Never call her again.
Did y'all hear what he said? And I want to point something out.
It's not what he means.
Yeah, it is what he said, wasn't it? So I'm not going to interrupt, but I want to point something out. Okay, we are how far into this? Minutes only, right? 49 seconds, you guys. Not even 1 minute into this. How many times have I stopped to comment or to draw attention to some absurdly horrifying thing that this guy says? Less than a minute. Do you think this is normal? My guess is you would need to write a script to be able to be this offensive in such a limited amount of time. I don't think even the worst racist, misogynistic asshole on the planet could manage to be this weird and creepy in less than a minute. And yet, and yet, we're listening to it. So, yeah, exactly, Jill. Thank you. Brittany's doing her gaslighting bullshit. Well, who do you want him to apologize to? What should he apologize for? Who should he apologize to? Okay, Brittany, teachers, because he said he was going to punch your child's teacher in the face. He said it. He did not say that he was going to punch his teacher in the face. Oh, yes, the hell he did, Brittany. Yes, he did. And the fact that you still have people in your side chat that are trying to be supportive of you is incredible. All I got to say is you must be paying them. You've got to be paying them. Or they're all women that your creepy boy is doing the dirty deed with. Why else would they be there? This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Yeah, teachers. He needs to apologize to teachers. He needs to apologize to the subscribers. He needs to apologize to every woman walking the face of this planet. Listen to what he's about to say, you guys. Really, listen. You won't believe your ears.
I used to look for girls like that because they're easy to manipulate. You give them a little attention they want, say nice things to them, you get what you want, and you move on. Never call her again.
Wow. What exactly did he just say, y'all? I don't want to interpret it for you. Put in the chat what he just said. Yeah, Jill, you heard it. I don't want to interpret it for you. I want her to see what you guys are hearing and seeing. I feel bad for the kids too. Bishin and listening. I like your name as well. The world in 25 is straight up unhinged. End times energies everywhere. Folks really out here pumping out AI scripts because they've got nothing else going on. There's a lot going on. Like, for example, another person got stabbed on a subway, just going home, got stabbed on the subway by who? Someone who is in the country illegally, who has already been deported back to their home country and come back in again. Yeah, we're living in dangerous times. So, Bishin and listening, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about. There are a lot of different topics to be had. But if you heard this live that happened on, I think it was on the 4th, December the 4th, things are My opinion is things are about to blow up. The train wreck has arrived, I think. Yeah, AK. Do you know how many times she said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. This step, whatever you know, blah, blah." I mean, come on. Come on in the background talking like Greco, super weird shit. He is weird dude. That this is a grown man who can't apparently, if the gossip is correct, and to be fair, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's out there that he can't leave the house, and she goes and gets alcohol and gives it to him so then he can say things like, "Ain't no boys watching you. Ain't no boys wanting to come see your wrinkles. Ain't no boys. All the boys are over there watching the girls in the hot tub." This is the guy, and there's little kids in the house. Don't forget that. As this weirdo says these things, and they are also listening to Brittany say, he didn't say that. Okay, imagine being one of these kids. Imagine being one of these kids. You're 12 years old. You hear him say, "Stop this Jerry Springer shit. Everybody got to be like professional white people." And you hear him say it, like you know he said it. And then you hear your mother say, "Craig didn't say to be a professional white person." What do you think the kids are thinking, Brittany? What do you think they're thinking? Man, it's just so, yeah, the weird, beautiful eyes. That got me, Justice Jane. I'm not going to tell. I was physically nauseated. I did not want to let my imagination go any further. It was too much. It's just awful.
Somebody who brings something to the table, who's going to help me out, move me forward. Not some little weak gossip hoe. You honestly deserve one.
That's it, Brittany. That's all you got to say. He's calling your listeners hags, that the boys don't want to look at them, that they're all hoes. And the only thing you have to say, this is your livelihood. This is the only money you got coming in. And all you got to say is under your breath, "Oh, why is that?" Because I can promise you one thing. You ask my husband if he acted that stupid, or if I acted that stupid, he would come unglued at me. He would say, "Have you lost your mind?" It's not normal. You don't just go, "Oh."
As women, look at these other women.
Oh boy.
And y'all know half these women are horrible. They don't deserve a man at all, much less a good man.
Misogynist. The man is the prize, ladies. Okay. In case you didn't understand this, let me explain it to you, Paige Turner. Okay. According to the man that Brittany is telling you guys that he's so great and wonderful, according to him, a man is the prize. It's the prize. It's the ultimate. It's the brass ring. If you're a woman, you don't get to have any kind of life until you got yourself a man. Now, don't get me wrong. It doesn't have to be a good man. It can be, a loser, a piece of shit that lays on the sofa all day long and stays drunk and talks about his 8-inch wiener than a cat. That's fine. Just the mere fact that he has testosterone, he believes that makes him special. He's a prize to you. How bizarre is that? Doesn't even have to be a good man. What, like you? You think you're a good man? you're not even at the starting line for the race to be a good man. You're not even there. No, no. You're not even a work in progress. You're just a lump, just an inanimate object that doesn't do anything but hurt Brittany. Yeah, the whole trophy thing. Yeah, no. So this is horrifying, right? This is absolutely let me be very clear too what I mean when I say this is horrifying. That this is willingly, knowingly being said on a platform that is broadcasting to the entire world. Okay. This is considered normal conversation. This idea that any man, no matter how awful, gross, disgusting, loser, whatever, as long as he has testosterone, then you should be wanting him because you're nothing without a man. You don't even need a good man. He's saying these things and she's listening as if this is normal. That this kind of idea is okay. That's what is so shocking. Right? Let me I promise you guys, there are much worse things in life than not having a man. I promise you. There are much worse things. The reality is that women do really, really well with their friends. We support each other. We're empathetic. We help each other. We can have fun together. Women like other women, right? And they like men. I'm not excluding men, but what I mean is this: you don't have to be lonely. If you get divorced or for some reason you're without a spouse or a mate, you can get a lot of your emotional needs met through friendship, through companionship. Men don't really have it that easy. They really struggle. Their spouses or their mates are a lot more necessary to them. I'm talking about from a psychological point of view. They just don't feel comfortable getting emotionally vulnerable with friends, right? You're not really going to see two guys walk up and go, I'm just feeling a little lonely. My wife left me and, I just don't know what to do with myself when I'm eating my scrambled eggs alone at night. Yeah, they'll never say that. That's not something that they would be most. I'm sure there's exceptions to every rule. But most men, that emotional, vulnerable part of their lives, it's usually done with their moms. Mom is number one. The first wife, even if they remarry, they tend to stay really bonded to the first significant relationship they had, or sisters. They can also get those needs met, like if they're close with one of their sisters or something. So, but women, we can make friends anywhere. And we'll tell all our friends, oh, I'm so sad. Let me tell you what, that bastard did. And then your new friend is going to say, girl, I know all about it. Let me tell you what mine did. And then you're great. And then you're supporting each other and your friends. And you're like, oh, we should, order a pizza and watch movies all night. Yeah. New friend, come on over. That is, the reality. And it doesn't have anything to do with girls are better than boys or anything like that. It is just the way our brains are wired. So trust me, this man here who's saying, oh, if you gossip, you don't even deserve a man. You don't, much less a good man. He's foolish. It's a foolish, strange ideas coming from this person, in my opinion.
That's what a man wants the most.
Yeah.
He wants that sweetness, that femininity. That's
He wants that sweetness. He wants that femininity from those old hags. God, you're an idiot.
What makes you a special creature? You got children, men and women. What makes you special as a woman?
Yeah.
You should bring that sugar to the table.
Okay.
So, according to this clown, it's our obligation, ladies, to bring that sweetness to the table, because that's all a man wants after all. You don't have any utility in life other than being a mother and being a tool for this creep. And here's the horrible part. Here's the shocking part. This is normal in their house. They believe this. And there's kids listening.
I don't want to go all the way there. All right, here you go.
Got no sugar.
Thank
Be a fucking grown woman. Immature
I'm learning.
girls who can't grow up along with their bodies. Fuck you in the ass.
No.
Did you hear that? I'm not repeating it. That's part of the sweetness, don't you know? To do that particular act. It's just this insanity. It's the craziest thing.
No sugar.
Be
a fucking grown woman. Immature
I'm learning.
girls who can't grow up along with their bodies. Fuck you in the ass.
No. I mean, you can.
That's what you say, Brittany? No, I mean, you can. You're giving him permission to do that to you on live stream? What? Did you even know what you were saying?
You're just a cum dumpster.
Oh my.
That's charming, Brittany. Really, yeah. That's the guy that. And you people that gave him and her $8,000 to drag other people through the court system, you guys did it. This creepy dynamic. You guys sit there, and when Brittany says, he did not call ladies cum dumpsters. He didn't say that. You're lying. You're the dark side. You're lying. And all of you people said, oh, yeah, we believe you. It's okay, Brittany. We know. It's okay. Here, take more of my money. I don't need it. I can eat peanut butter next week. But you got to live with this creep forever. Why are you letting her gaslight you? At least admit that you know what he's saying. At least admit that you recognize and understand and condone that there's a 12-year-old kid in that house listening to this creep call women cum dumpsters. Kids are listening. You can hear them in the background. This is normal conversation in their house. And the reason that I know that is because they have no hesitation putting it out on a live stream to a platform that you can listen to anywhere in the world. That's how I know it's normal. This is something I just can't. Honestly, I would take my husband to the hospital if he started talking like that. I would be like, okay, what went off the rails? What happened? Did you have a stroke? What's happening here? Is it brain damage? Are you suddenly psychotic? There's nothing normal about this. And yet you guys sit there and not just listen and condone the gaslighting, you actually believe the gaslighting, you're giving this creepy situation, you're giving them their money. You're giving them your money. You've built it in your head, you convinced yourself that they're victims. You're literally convinced yourself they are victims. Instead of, no, they are actually saying and doing these things. The dark side, quotation marks, we're just the people in watching in horror and shock, thinking, what about the kids? And then Brittany says, y'all don't even care about endangering little kids. No, I think that's exactly the point, actually, Brittany, is that I don't think little kids should be sitting around listening to this creep. I think the poor judgment is scary for little kids, Brittany. And I think it scares people that you're not trying to protect them from him. People are going to call the cops. They are. They're scared. They're scared, Brittany, because of what they're listening to. They're scared because of what you are saying and what he is saying. They're afraid for your children because of what they see happening there. This is not rocket science. It's a pretty easy concept.
Lord, Craig.
Respect me, I respect you back. You don't, I'll fucking slap you.
Pull that up.
Put
Let's
it in
get,
three
let's
different ways
just,
to fucking make sure you understand. You dumb bitch.
let's, okay, Craig. Let's.
Now he is saying that he's going to be slapping all of anyone. If you're a woman, you get slapped.
Let's go to the, that video.
Then they turn into rankly Karens.
Okay.
When nobody wants to.
Okay, he's trying to say wrinkly Karens, normal middle-aged women with wrinkles. That's what he's trying to say. But because he's a little boy in his mind, he says rankly because he thinks he's cool. I mean, he masturbates his muscles on camera. He wiggles and waves his tongue around in the camera because he's a child who thinks that women find that attractive or titillating. What he doesn't understand is that women all across the globe started vomiting when he started doing that. He says, here are his best insults, Brittany. No boys watch your channel. No boys, because you're old. But the boys are going over and watching the girls in the hot tub. That's his mentality. That's his best put down, Brittany, of your friends. Or you got rankles. You are no longer useful in society because you have wrinkles. If you become old and you have wrinkles and you're not sexually beautiful any longer, then you have no further use to the world. He is a clown, Brittany, and he is influencing your children. And your kids are listening to you go live and scream at the world about how you are being victimized. I'm a victim. Other people can be racist and no one cares. But if I'm racist, then everyone wants to talk about it. You are wrong. You are a gaslighter. You are not telling the truth. People are not picking on you. People are horrified at what's coming out of this channel. People are terrified for the well-being of your children. The basic minimum standards of safety are not being met.
Look at your ass no more. You found a fucking niche of psychos, man. These nuts. You have another lawsuit on top of what you already got. You ain't got a lawyer ready for the lawsuit coming for you. I'll get you another one. Go ahead. And then when you lose, you're going to have to pay for it all. And then I'm going to get you for everything you took me for.
Yeah, so he just admitted somehow he has had some kind of consequences. He says, I'm going to get back what you took from me. So we don't know. I'm not really sure what that means. Did they take his guns? Is it possible that there was a welfare check that came when CPS got involved and that the red, what are they called? Red flag laws. The cops came and took their firearms. Is that what I'm going to get back all that you took from me? Listen to him again.
Go ahead. And then when you lose, you're going to have to pay for it all. And then I'm going to get you for everything you took me for.
Everything you took me for. It wasn't money. Because Brittany gets all the money from her subs. So what did they take from him? A guy that never leaves the house, stays drunk all the time. What did they take him for? It's interesting, right? But this was the live stream where he just reaches in front of him. He doesn't even have to like lean over. The gun was readily available, is right there. A house that has little kids running around. He just reaches out, he gets the gun, he does his stupid shit. And then he lies to everybody. And he did not have a gun. He did not. And then you hear him, he's going to say, oh, did you like my little Nerf gun? Did you see my little Nerf gun? I got a super soaker too. You're a fucking child, Craig. Literally, your brain is about 12 years old.
Go ahead. I got plenty of money.
Oh, he's got so much money. Okay, you got so much money, then why is Brittany asking all the subscribers to give her $8,000 so she can be the aggressor against others? Why? All he said, I got so much money. I got so much money. I got more money than you do. You'll never have as much money as I do. Why? Because your daddy left you $100,000. Got news for you, little boy. $100,000. It's not that much.
Have another lawsuit.
Another lawsuit.
You like Nerf? You like my Nerf gun?
Like my Nerf gun.
You like my little Nerf gun and my child had?
Your child? You bring your kid into it. You say you like my Nerf gun that my child had. It's unforgivable. And what is so disturbing about it, Brittany, is that it's your job to protect your kids. It's your job to keep people like him away from your kids, in my opinion. Oh, no, you can't no, Jill. You cannot steer her away. She is not going to give up the drama because it brings in, or it's changing now, but it was bringing in a great deal of money, right? Like a sporting event. It was like, okay, well, this team over here is going to go for the Atlanta Braves, and I'm on the team that goes for the Houston Astros. And then we're going to talk smack back and forth, right? It's fun. It's like a national pastime, okay? The problem is this has gotten sinister. This isn't fun anymore. It's not fun anymore. It's dark and it's worrisome and it is very unusual. Yeah, have no fear. Timu Eminem is here. Yes. Very well said. We need to get a t-shirt made that has that on it. That's great. That's awesome. And big old picture of weird Craig. Yeah. Oh yeah, as long as she is dishing it out to others, As long as she is throwing, shade at Cluminati or Cletus, well, now what? Elevated Truth. As long as she's talking smack, she's giggling and happy and on top of the world. But man, as soon as this weirdo opens up his mouth and says these god awful, sometimes almost evil type of, I don't mean evil like, religion, but an abomination. He says things that are so fringe. They're so far off from what is considered decent conversation, right? That when he says it, you're just it's terrible. I don't want to. I got to be careful what I say. Man, he is all things. He's an ageist. He is. He's hating on elderly people with wrinkles. He's sexist, no question. The boys aren't going to want to watch you. The boys won't listen to you. Yeah, well, be quiet. You're a child. Misogynistic, a xenophobe. He's all of it, Amber. You've said it correctly. He is. I don't think he's normal. I don't think his brain is thinking right, is my opinion.
He like that nerve killer.
He's so creepy. Look how he's acting, and he's got this air about him, like somehow he thinks that he's like Al Pacino or something. But here's the problem, Craig. You beat up women. That's the problem. Like you try to present this, air about you, this presentation of I'm so cool and smooth and Joe Suave. But the truth of the matter is you beat the shit out of women. You kicked a woman in the head with your steel-toed boots. If the cops can be believed, according to a police report you did, no man would do that. Those are the actions of a little boy who's having a temper tantrum. You had a temper tantrum, you little fucker. You had a temper tantrum. You're not a man. There's nothing special about you. You're just creepy.
The lawsuit's coming. If you put anything on me that you think can stick, I got more money than you.
I'm not. Yeah. Okay. How do you reconcile that? I wonder. How do you reconcile it for all these people that go to Brittany's chat and support her and say, "Oh, the dark side is so awful," and they're bullying you? How do you reconcile that, Paige Turner? How do you reconcile that you gave this cretin $8,000 as he stares into the camera and says over and over and over and over again, I got money. I got so much money. I got more money than you do. I got lots of money. How much you need, Brittany? I'll give it to you. You guys are willingly laying down and letting them run right over you. Oh, I can't for the life of me figure out why. Paige Turner came in here. All the usual. I used to watch you. I used to love you. I don't anymore. No, you didn't. No, you don't. None of that was real. In fact, you're probably Brittany, would be my guess. But if you are different, if you're not Brittany, if you're just a listener, don't you feel stupid as hell? Like, don't you feel really, really foolish to realize that he's sitting there looking at just like right into the camera? He hates you because you're wrinkled, because you're middle-aged. He hates you because boys don't look at you. He hates you. He has more money than you. But, oh, yeah, give us your money so we don't have to spend our money. Do you feel foolish? Do you feel stupid? Do you feel like you've been exploited, or you're just a willing sucker?
I got more money than you, and you can't go to the court. She's already got a lawsuit on you. You ain't gonna stick 2 lawsuits. You ain't got enough money. When your channel shuts down, how you gonna afford to go to any lawsuits after that? You ain't gonna be able to afford 1 lawsuit, much less 2. You like my Nerf gun? Do you like my Nerf gun?
Gag. Lynn. I hate that you put that in there. That's so nasty. Lynn, we got to talk, girl. Let's spare us the whole tongue wagging blech.
You like that Nerf gun? I got some big Nerf guns right here too.
What, for the cat?
That was Brittany's little Nerf gun. I got some big Nerf guns.
He's so foolish.
I got some big Nerf guns. Yeah. Super soakers.
Yeah, your girl lost the lawsuit in Pennsylvania. And you know what? It's almost time to pay the band, Craig. I mean, we know Brittany lies. She lies at the drop of a hat. It's shocking how often and how ridiculously noticeable she will lie. But maybe you're the one who's been lied to worse than anyone, because that whole RICO thing in Pennsylvania, it's time to pay the fiddler. And the person with the fiddle is Granny's watching and barbecue lady. I don't think you know the truth about what's happening in your world.
No super sucker. You know that?
God, I can't listen.
I'll show you some more. You don't like what you can afford. Much less another one. You lose your channel, you ain't gonna be able to afford for no lawyer. You're gonna be struggling to pay your light bill. I got plenty of fucking Nerf guns around.
I can remember last Christmas, Craig, Brittany sobbing on channel, sobbing. I can't afford my light bill. I can't afford my internet bill. I need your money. Just give me some money. Just my children. Think of my children. Give me your money. I think of my children. Now you're sitting there going, you ain't going to be able to pay your light bill. You ain't going to be able to pay your internet bill. Shut up, Craig. You look like a clown.
Right here. And when you lose your channel,
Nobody is. Yeah, that is your man. That is the man that you have chosen to protect you and to provide for you and to be a role model for your children. That's right. And yet, nobody's watching out for those kids.
I got to do a little slim and, my crotch area.
Yeah.
Make you stand up.
That good boy.
York patty. Yes, I like peppermint York patty.
You look pale as fuck.
That's reality. Really unfortunate choice of names, but that's her. I like a peppermint patty.
Ooh.
Your color is bad.
Who, mine?
But yeah, on your camera.
The camera.
Free, don't look
I'm
pale.
saying you adjusted.
Why would you
Well, that slimming figure, it kind of does, it uses color to sort of change it a little
talk
bit.
about?
Makes you look like a gothic fucking. We ain't that white. We white, but we ain't that white.
We're white, but we're not that white. He's being disrespectful. Notice the date, November 18th this year, like just literally weeks ago. Scratching. Why are you scratching? Why are you scratching so much? What's that about? All right. So we have the links to this video. And oh yeah, I agree, Donna. Ominous, right? It is disconcerting. Yeah. I think so too, C-Star. I totally agree with you. I'm afraid he may be another Chris Watts, so just better pray someone calls law enforcement. I think someone did call the other night when it was so bad. I believe it was December the 4th. Of course, the videos have been removed. They're still on Rumble. You can go listen to it on Rumble, but it was incredible. It was incredible. The worst I've ever seen. Well, no, I don't think it was as bad as the whole, cat thing that happened that night. But it was close. So, yes, there you go, Cinnamon. You know, don't you? Yep, you can see it. You can see it. So if we can put the link to Lynn's channel to this video, I had it a while ago, but I copied and pasted something earlier. So let me get it again. Really, there's so much more to listen to on this video. You've got to go and listen if what you are interested in is knowing what is the truth and what is real. Okay. I think the kids, the subscribers, the money, the threats, I think now is the time for truth. Now is the time for facts, and only for the safety of Brittany and for the kids. And that it's all about safety. That's it. All right. So I hope that you will go. Here is the link. The name of the channel is Breaking Chains TC. It's like true crime. So T like Tom, C like cat. She is so interesting. Knows her stuff. She's educated. She's got a lot to say. And I hope you'll go over and not only just listen, but subscribe to Lynn. She's great. She's a great provider. You'll be glad that you found her. I promise. She's very interesting. I think she is grifting for money again to pay Barbecue and Granny. I wouldn't be surprised, Tracy. How many things? It could, I believe we've got one more paycheck before Christmas. I'm talking about from Alphabet Company. So Google pays us on, I think the 20th or I think it's the 20th or 21st. I think some people get paid like on the 25th. But anyway, so she's got one more paycheck before Christmas, before the end of the year. Pennsylvania, that looms large, right? That it's going to hurt, Brittany. They're going to hit you guys with a demand for payment that is going to knock you to the ground. I hope you're ready. I hope you got your head together because it's happening. And they'll be able to get judgments. They'll be able to come and get the things that you have. Craig's watch, his ring. It's coming. And Craig, you have bragged so much about how much money you have. They're going to come for your stuff too. All right. Thank you, C-Star and Donna Burns. Lynn is great. Her channel, Breaking Chains TC. And please subscribe. Tell her I told you to come see her and finish this video. It's just simply incredible. Okay. All right. And prayers. Hold on just a second. Okay, and then I don't remember who was it. AK? Someone was going to ask me a question, and I gave you my email address so that you could just send the question by email if you wanted privacy. So I think, I don't remember who it was, but please send your question. I'll watch my email, and please, prayers for Mountain Dew. And I will probably be live tomorrow sometime. And until then, I hope that you guys have a really, really great evening. And I don't know what song we should go out to. I guess we'll just redo the BJ song. See y'all later, okay? Thumbs up would be appreciated. And Merry Christmas.
Violent, fake, restraining artist, Craig chasing subs away. Mods in chains, signing NDAs today. Banned for a week, no live streaming hell. Now she's been evading, ringing that band bell. Queen bee stinging in clues, got the proof. BJ's empire's hanging by a noose. Hurts the mothers with the child